Okay, so last time we learned how to play the tall bar blues in B flat using a capo. So this time I'll show you how to do it in this, the same thing, but this time using bar chords. So it's pretty simple. All we do is use our first finger as the capo, and we bar it across the first fret. And now we've got these remaining three fingers to make up the shapes of the chords that we were doing before. So for the one chord, the D flat chord, instead of trying to bunch up our fingers like that, it's quite awkward. It's a lot easier if you just slap that finger across there. Now there's a couple of things you want to be thinking about when you do this. Remember how when we played this chord here, we were only playing these four strings, the first four strings. So when we play the bar chord, I'm actually not on top of the sixth string. I'm only barring from the fifth string across, and I'm actually pressing against it from underneath so that it dampens it. So when I strum it, or if I accidentally strum it, it doesn't sound. So that's if I'm not touching it, and I'm just touching it slightly so it dampens the sound. And I'm also doing the same thing as that with this finger. So from this finger's barring from the fourth, third and second strings, and I'm angling my finger just slightly so that the first string is dampened. So if I push in too much, it sounds. If I let off just a little bit, it dampens like that, because that's not a note of the chord if I was to strum that too. It sounds a bit weird. So I let off. And notice how when I strum this bar chord, I'm strumming from the fifth string. But it really doesn't matter, because if I'm dampening the sixth string properly, I can strum across the whole lot, and I only really get the inner four strings vibrating anyway. Okay, so the next shape, still with the bar across here, is the E flat 7 shape, or the 4 chord. So we're going to make the same little triangle using these three fingers. So the second finger goes here on this part of the triangle, and these other two go on the next fret up, and one above and below the other. Okay, so it should sound like this. And again, we only strum these four strings, just like we were before. And the last chord is the F7 shape, or chord 5. So I'm going to bar here again, put my second finger on the third string, and my next finger on the fifth string on the next fret over. So it should be the same shape as when you were doing it over here, but like this. Okay, so that's all the three chords in this end position using bar shapes. Let's now have a look at playing the bridge section with the rhythms. So it's going to sound a bit like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's with that. So you might have noticed that I wasn't dampening with my right hand here like I was before. That's because when you're using bar chords, what you can do is you can dampen the sound quite effectively if you just let off and relax your hands a little bit. So you're still touching. So when you're still touching the strings, but they're not touching the frets. So you're taking them off the frets, and by still touching them, that stops the sound. Just like that. So I'm able to do those short notes just by doing like that. I just wanted to mention a little bit about strumming. The way that you keep your rhythm going with strumming guitar chords is you just keep that up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up going along with the beat, and you strum on the down or the up depending on what rhythm you want to strum. So I'm going 1, 2, let's do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can strum it down on the syncopated parts if you like, but I find it just flows better if you just keep that same strumming going up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down along with the beat, and just pick when you actually strike the chords at the correct moment. So again, just real slowly we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. Okay, and that's it. Okay, see the next video for some other bar chord shapes up in this place.